Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. Hey, what's going on, Pile 1? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading, tapping into your person's true, honest thoughts and feelings towards you in this connection. The next pick a card that I post will be about their next actions or their next move towards you. Anyway, yeah, so just keep in mind, Pile 1, it's a general reading, so whatever resonates, take it, run with it. If something doesn't resonate, just drop it, leave it behind for the people that it does resonate for. If you want me to tap exclusively into the energy of you and your person's connection, check the description box below. I have a lot of personal readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25, so go check them out, see which ones fit your needs. All right, so you guys were drawn to the lemon calcite stone. Okay. I just heard too good to be true. Okay, this is your person's overall energy towards you and towards the connection. So the first card out says pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And then we have make believe from a whole different deck. It says imaginary, false, too good to be true. Oh yeah, I didn't even see that where it says too good to be true, so I was already tapping into that energy already. We'll have to find out what's going on. All right, let's pull their real thoughts and feelings towards you and towards the connection. I will say your person kind of is in what do I want to say? They're in the mode of looking. They're looking for red flags, okay? We'll find out. One more shuffle and then we will pull Pile 1's person. Your real thoughts and feelings towards Pile 1. Your real thoughts and feelings towards Pile 1, please. going to get 6 of these. Your real thoughts and feelings towards pile 1. Okay. Yeah, they're scared. And I picked up on that word as I was shuffling these. Let me get 4 more. Pile 1's person, your honest, true thoughts and feelings towards pile 1 and the connection at this time. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's exactly what it is. I was trying to figure out like where this energy over here was coming from. Like, you know, have they seen red flags? Are they now, like they saw like the reality of this connection? Now they're like, I know it was too good to be true, but that's not it, okay? What's going on with your person, the red flag that your person is clocking with you in this connection, pile 1, is this right here. It says, you're everything I've always wanted. Okay, and that's why they're highly suspicious, waiting for the other shoe to drop, looking at you as if like, nah, this can't, like pile 1 and this connection itself is just too damn perfect. There's got to be, where's the flaw, like where's the fault, where's the flaws, right? I'm not saying that they see you as literal perfection, but your person might be seeing you, pile 1, as perfect for them, okay? So I'm not saying that they see you as like, you know, absolute perfection, you know, like not having a flaw. But it's one of those things where, you know, we'll see if they might be idealizing. I'm not really picking up on idealization, though. I'm just picking up on this energy where they're like, things are so easy between the two of you, like the flow, the chemistry, everything is just right between the two of you. And even maybe like your guys is like, you know, your flaws and your weaknesses, you know, don't bother them, and their flaws and maybe their weaknesses don't bother you. You know, there's just something about this connection that your person feels actually really good about, and that in itself is the red flag for your person. All right, let's get 3 more. Pile 1's person, your honest thoughts and feelings. They're saying they had what they thought. Okay, so yeah, haunted by the past. Okay, this is something, this is why your person is waiting for the other shoe to drop, because they've had an experience possibly with someone else in the past. They've had an experience with someone in the past that made them feel very much in the same way that you're making them feel right now. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, the person that they're referencing when they're saying they're haunted by the past, you know, looking for red flags with you, that, you know, put on a really good show up front until the mask fell, okay? And when your person found out who that past person truly was, that, you know, nothing that they thought, like, you know, they were in a connection with someone where they thought that person was a perfect fit for them. They thought that connection was perfect and this and that and the other, only to find out that, you know, the other person was in some way, shape, or form faking, okay? Like they didn't find out who that person really was until, you know, your person bought into that experience, hook, line, and sinker. Or now they're kind of like waiting for the same thing to happen with you. They're kind of like hanging back, okay? Yeah, so your person, you might be experiencing this person, pile 1, is kind of hanging back. I'm not necessarily seeing or feeling where they have withdrawn energy from you and from this connection. It's weird because I am kind of feeling their energy very resistant towards you and towards the connection. Kind of holding you in this connection at arm's length, but only for the purposes of like, okay, I got to emotionally and mentally distance myself as much as possible from pile 1, maybe even to the extent of not allowing you to become like an everyday part of their life until they've spent, it feels like they're vetting you, okay? Vetting, that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like they're vetting you, all right? That's why they're kind of like, again, I'm not picking up, like I feel their connection to you. I feel where the two of you are connected, but I am picking up on some kind of a distance that your person is keeping this connection, and you and this connection at on purpose, so that they can make sure that they're not being, they're saying hoodwinked. Okay, let's get 3 more. Yeah, look at that. It says, I refuse to fall in love and catch feelings, period. Oh, and it's fallen right underneath where it says here, depression is kicking my ass. Believe it or not, pile 1, this is actually really triggering to your person. This is kicking up a lot of old doubt and old fears, because now your person is like, a part of them, a very tiny part of them, I'll add, kind of wants to walk away from this connection, because they are already associating pain and discomfort with this kind of a love connection, right? But on the other hand, it's like there's another larger part of them that wants to keep you and wants all of this to be real. Okay, but we'll see what else is going on. Pile 1's person, give me 2 more, please. Your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 1 and the connection. Yeah, making you a top priority. With that falling underneath haunted by the past, yeah, because I was just saying they're not, I'm picking up where they haven't, and they're choosing not to. This is very much on purpose because they are vetting you, right? They've chosen not to make you part of their everyday routine yet. You know, your person may take, like breakups and separations and things not working out. They may actually take those very, very, very hard. Almost on par with, you know, the death of a loved one. Okay, your person grieves, like when they allow themselves to really attach to somebody and make that person like an everyday part of their life, and then that person for whatever reason like exits their life. And I was just gonna say exit, but then loses their life. Okay, for some of you, and this is a very specific message, pile 1, your person has dealt with their fair amount of death in this lifetime. Okay, they've lost some people very close to them. I'm hearing for some of you, it's been recent. They've recently lost someone very close to them. Maybe even multiple people within like the span of 5 or 6 years. Okay, so that's another thing. Your person is, and haunted by the past. They've lost people, right? They've lost people who were very close to them, people that were and to death, right? But not just that. I mean, yeah, it's death, but you know, you can have death and experience grief in different ways. But they've experienced a lot of loss. I'll just put it that way. For some of you, yes, it's a lot of death. They've actually experienced a lot of people, very close people to them, passing away very recently, even multiple within the span of like maybe 5 years or so. That's very specific, but and they haven't had time, or maybe even the knowledge or the wherewithal to really fully process, you know, that trauma and, you know, any feelings of separation or abandonment wounds that may have, you know, sprung up from that. And so they're kind of gun shy, you know. I will say the energy that's coming through with your person, pile 1, they're seeing it as like, it is almost that, I think that's what the problem is. Your person is seeing things between you and them as ideal, and that's what scares them. Like too perfect. It's too good to be true. Let's get 1 more. These 2 came out together. Okay, yeah. It says, I'll explain everything soon, I promise. And that what came out with that is, I'm serious about you and I'm serious about us. So if you're feeling, and then at the back of the deck, look at that, I can still feel the pain. Your person, pile, that's what's going on with your person, pile 1. Okay, it's actually a couple of different things they're dealing with, and it's really causing your person, and I'll find out where this depression is kicking my ass energy is coming from, but overall there's a couple of things going on with your person that is really causing them to, they're just scared. Okay, and so again, we've already discussed what both of those things are. One of them is they've been bamboozled by somebody in the past. They felt like this with that person, and turns out everything they believed and thought about that connection wasn't true. Like, it wasn't their happily ever after, although it very much appeared to be in the beginning, right? And they've also experienced a lot of loss and actual physical death of multiple people within a span of a short period of time. People that were very close to them, including people that they may have just broken up from and had a romantic connection with. There's not a lot to... Okay, I'm gonna clarify depression is kicking my ass, and then also I'll explain everything soon. For some of you, it does feel like your person feels like they might be on some kind of a time crunch when it comes to you in this connection. So that's letting me know, pile one, that somehow, way, shape, or form, whether you've communicated it to them directly or not, your person knows you're just not gonna allow yourself to sit on a shelf and wait for them to make a move or whatever. They're aware of that, okay? However, they know that. They just know, you're not one to be just put on a shelf and just, sleep on, right? Yeah, because they are saying, I'm serious about you, okay? That's not their intention. Their intention is not to sleep on you in this connection. That's not their intention at all, but they're trying to really come to terms with some things inwardly. Again, they're just feeling very afraid and gun shy. Tell me more about depression is kicking my ass. There's the High Priestess. Ha. What does this have to... That's Pisces energy coming through. This could regard... Okay, so... This feels, because what we have is the High Priestess in the upright position. We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse, and then the Ten of Cups in the reverse. This feels like, okay, that's pain regarding the past. And they're being intuitively guided to work through those feelings, okay, to work through those disappointments and stuff like that. Okay, good news is that whatever that depression is, whether it's just overall general depression or if it's, just trauma, a lot of unprocessed trauma, whether it's big T, little t, emotional baggage and stuff like that, your person's not gonna let that depressive state ruin things completely for this connection, okay? And actually they're being intuitively guided to heal, okay? To process that trauma. Nudged. Yeah, they're being intuitively guided, and I'm also hearing nudged, okay? If your person did lose, if they did lose somebody very close to them in terms of to death, right? Especially if it was recently, there is a message coming through that that person or those people, if they've lost multiple people that are very close to them recently, are actually along with your person's intuitive sense, their higher self is, you know, the spirits or the energy of those people that have passed on is also actually trying to help your person, like, guide you in, like, your direction, right? I'm hearing gently, though. They're saying gently. We're gently guiding that person to you, pile one. Your person may be stubborn. And it's not necessarily that they're stubborn. What I'm hearing is that they're just really scared. So I'm seeing like their feet being dug into the ground. Not procrastinating. I'm not procrastinating. They're saying, I'm just, yeah, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. They hope it doesn't drop, they're saying. Yeah. Tell me more about, I'll explain everything soon, I promise. Oh, okay. They're wanting to talk to you because we have the Ten of Cups in the reverse coming out again. That's what they're going to talk to you about, is whatever this depression is kicking my ass. They're going to talk to you about their fears and their anxieties and their worries and why, you know, I'm hearing after all this time they haven't, you know, progressed things with you or progressed this connection, or why they've been so scared to take things to the next level, or whatever the case may be. They want to talk to you about that. They may want to open up about their past, right? Let me actually do that. What's haunted by the past? Tell me more about that. The Moon in the reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. We got Pisces energy coming out again along with Cancer, and then we have fixed energies here with the Wheel of Fortune, which fixed energy is Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. This almost feels like they went against their better judgment. Oh, okay. Your person did pick up on some red flags with that person, but this person from the past, but they disregarded it, you know, and they're kind of beating themselves up over it, you know, and they've been beating themselves up over it ever since. This can also talk about your person having been confronted with their fears in that past relationship, like on a regular basis. So in other words, that could be something like dealing with somebody who cheats on a regular basis, or dealing with somebody who gets caught up in lies and manipulation on a regular basis. Like whatever your person, whatever caused them to have pain, fear, and anxiety in, you know, a romantic connection, it was like whatever that was, they were facing that, like, on a daily basis, I'm hearing. Okay, so yeah, you know, in the energy that they're coming through, you know, when I'm tapping into pile one, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not justifying it, but what I'm saying is I can relate and I can understand where they're coming from. I'm not picking up where they're gonna, like, keep you at arm's length for too long. They do want to move towards you, and they don't want this to be, you know, fake or too good to be true. They want it to be everything, you know, that they believe it to be. Let's see, what needs to happen here? Okay, they got to let their guard down. My question is what needs to happen in order for them to, like, get things moving, right? They need to feel safe enough to let their guard down. And I'm not picking up on where there's, you know, for you, pile one, just keep on being who you're being, right? Just keep being consistent, keep doing what you've been doing. Is there a trigger point when they'll let their guard down, or is it just timing? Healing. Yeah, because at the back of the deck here we have I can still feel the pain, and then the Three of Swords showing up in the reverse. Timing is really like when they'll feel comfortable letting their guard down and letting you in, making you a top priority, making you an everyday part of their life and their routine. It largely depends on them healing, clearing out some of that, you know, the grief from what they've lost, you know, here very recently, clearing out, you know, some fear and pain and doubt that still stems from, you know, several points I'm hearing in the past. It's not time. It's not time that's going to fix that. It's healing. Your person, you know, needs, and they're being guided by multiple energies to heal, right? Especially this depression, to heal the trauma, to heal the depression, to heal, you know, the disappointment that maybe they felt, and not trusting themselves and stuff like that. Big on not trusting themselves, I just heard. That might be their higher selves, like really knocking at their door. Yeah, okay. Tell me more about making you a top priority, and then we can end the reading. If this is resonating for you guys, if you got from this reading what you came here for, do me a favor. Smash the like button. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Ooh, I just felt something brush the back of my neck. Somebody is really trying to get your person's attention, pile 1. Somebody that's passed over, okay? Because I just felt somebody touch the back of my neck. They wanted, yeah, so they want, I don't know why they want you to know that. Yeah, it's just a message that's coming through. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it's resonated so far. Become part of the family by hitting that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. I just keep hearing like they're saying we're trying to get their attention. Actually, what I'm hearing is we're trying to get his attention, but you know, we're generalizing as much as possible. They're trying to get that your person's attention, pile 1. For what reasons, I'm not really sure. Someone in particular is trying to get your person's attention. Somebody that, you know, has recently passed away. When I say recently, I do mean like sometime within the last maybe 5 years or so. It feels fresh to your person, I'll put it that way. Okay, making you a top priority. Tell me about that. Oh yeah, so hit the subscribe button to become part of the family, and then don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. All right. Ooh, okay. They're saying no, like no funny business, like real talk. They're saying on making you a top priority, meaning like they want to be a safe space for you. They want to show themselves to be and prove themselves to be basically what they believe you've been being for them, right? Somebody that they can trust, or someone that you can trust, right? Being somebody that you can trust, someone that you can call on whenever, you know, whatever you need someone to call on. They really want to bring you into their everyday life. Like, yeah, but what they're really making a top priority though with you, or what they want to make a top priority, is just no messing around, like them being loyal. I'm actually picking up some energies where your person is like, they're going to make it a top priority for you to know that they're a safe space for you, that they are somebody that you can rest in, you can rest easy with, right? That you can trust, even to the point of jumping through hoops. So, you know, if you're somebody that's like, okay, you know, there should be full transparency, right? If you're that kind of a person, and that extends into like, you know, even, you know, it's okay to have, of course, have passcodes on your phone, but it's like you guys share each other's passcodes on your phones, right? Or, you know, however, thumbprint, Face ID, whatever. Like they have no problem doing that, because it's like they want to show you, I have nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide. right? So yes, you can have access to all my social media, my phone, whatever the case may be. Like that's the extent that they're wanting, you know, to make, yeah, they're wanting to make you a top priority, but really what they're wanting to focus on is you feeling safe with them. Like you can trust them. They're not, you know, they're not going to put you, what they're saying is that they don't want to put you through what they've been through. You know, they don't want to do to you what someone else has done to them, because, you know, they don't want to cause you that kind of pain, which incidentally they're still in the process of needing to heal and process through. Anything else? Tell me more about your, if you haven't heard from this person in a while, pile one, or I should just say, you know, whatever a while might mean to you, they're going to be getting a hold of you here. I'm hearing shortly. Good news is, because I just asked, you know, tell me more about I refuse to fall in love and catch feelings, period. And we got the Death card coming up in the upright position. Two things are coming up with that. And both could be true, all right? So the reason, yes, one of the reasons why they have refused up until this point, or have been very resistant to falling in love and catching feelings, is because they've experienced a lot of death, okay, a lot of death and loss. And so that's just been their way of just shutting off and shutting down. They're saying, I don't have room, I don't have any more room, you know, within me to handle another like significant loss, okay? And really what's going to help that, again, because, you know, is processing the grief, processing the trauma and stuff like that. What I'm also hearing with death here, clarifying that, is that this is actually coming to an end, right? They're not in this energy anymore. Why did that come on the, oh, I think they're just explaining why. Part of the reason why they've been kind of hanging back and what's driving them to vet you and the connection, right? Yeah, they're not in that energy anymore, okay? We got Judgment, and then we have the Page of Swords. You've changed their mind. They've changed their mind, okay? They're ready to give it another go. Love meaning, right? For some of you, I'm even hearing marriage, if your person's been married before. But really what I'm picking up on is they're ready to give, like, falling in love again, okay? Another try. They're willing to, you know, give the experience of catching really deep, intense feelings for somebody another try, and, you know, with you, okay? Anything else? I will clarify your everything I've always wanted. Okay, with the Six of Cups in the reverse, this is what the energy that's coming through with that is, that you're unlike anything they've actually ever experienced before. You're different from, you know, the norm. So, you know, the Six of Cups and the, just in general, can represent childhood, where someone came from, their roots. So, yeah, it can also talk about soulmate energy. But in this context, this feels like you're different than anything they've ever known, okay? Friends and family, like, I'm hearing you broke the mold, okay? Your person just may have been used to certain characteristics, even demographics, and you're completely, like, opposite from anything that, you know, you're different, but in a good way, okay? You're like a fresh, you're a whole fresh new start in a whole different direction. And that may be another reason why they're so afraid to move things forward, because there's so many unknowns. There's, you know, they find it exciting and very intriguing because, you know, they don't have anything or anyone to really compare you to, because everything and everyone they've ever known up until this point feels like they fit kind of the same archetype, or they fit the same mold or something. And there's also energies of your person, for whatever reason, not being able to figure you out. Okay. Not necessarily because, you're not an open book. You just, what they're saying is you haven't responded and handled things in the same way that they're saying everybody else did or would. Okay, I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but your person is kind of seeing you a little bit like a mystery. Death. Let's see, we had judgment. Oh, we had that Scorpio energy twice with judgment and judgment and is judgment Scorpio? I don't know. We did have Mars energy come out with a tower, which that's Aries and Scorpio. So Scorpio very much in your guys' reading also. Let me find out. I'm checking it out. Scorpio. Give me a minute, you guys. I don't know why I'm so iffy on the judgment card. I think it's Scorpio energy. I could be wrong, though. Checking astrology. See if I can find it. Ugh, where is it at? Should be a lot easier. You know what? I'm just going to drop it. If you guys know off the top of your head, is judgment Scorpio energy? Let me know, okay? I don't want to hold you guys up anymore. Let me look a couple more at your everything I've always wanted. I just heard there's a movie with Matthew Perry and Salma Hayek, and if you go watch the movie, it's the cutest thing. It's like about two people from like two different cultures. Not necessarily two different, sides of the track, but that could also be part of it, right? Just two completely different worlds coming together. And Matthew Perry's character tells Salma Hayek's character, "You're everything I never knew I always wanted." It's given that, right, with everything I've always wanted. It's given that energy. Yeah, you're quiet and you're private. They like if you are someone that kind of hangs to yourself and like maybe you're more an observer. Hermit energy is also Virgo, which can be very intelligent and analytical and maybe can present themselves as somebody that is more like heart over head, right? But still very connected to their heart space. They like that about you. I'm hearing that they actually admire that about you. Like you're not somebody that looks for attention. You're not attention seeking. You kind of hang to yourself. You can be quiet and private. That's a lot of Scorpio energy coming through too. They like that about you. Okay. That might be why they're seeing you as a bit of a mystery, because they're not. Yeah. They're saying you are very warm and you are very open-hearted, but the energy that they're kind of helping me feel to understand where they're coming from about you. This is how they're viewing you, at least. You're picky about, because that's that Virgo energy coming through. You're very, very picky about who you give your time, space, and energy to, What they're showing me, like in contrast, is somebody that is attention seeking, that, is flashy, but for the wrong reasons. I'm not saying that your person doesn't see you as flashy, but you're glamorous, but in a different way. I'm seeing somebody that maybe used to dress and everything had to be perfect, right? Appearance wise, everything had to be perfect. I'm tapping into your person's thoughts or their experience with this, whoever that past person is. Everything needed to look perfect, yes, with appearance, but also just, reputation and stuff like that, and wanting to be the center of attention in the life of the party, but not because they naturally were, but because they were wanting validation, right? And so the way they're seeing you, it's like you're somebody that feels a lot more humble. I'm not saying that you don't, like, keep up on your appearances and stuff like that, but your person is picking up, if you do that, right? If you spend a lot of money, time, and attention on like keeping up with your appearance and going to the gym and getting your hair and nails done, or wearing, the best clothes and stuff like that, your person is picking up that it comes from a different space. It's not coming from you wanting to impress everyone, hoping and reaching for validation, okay? They're just sensing that you're coming from a different space than what that past person does. We'll get one more and then we'll close your reading. Thank you for hanging out with me again today, you guys. Oh, yeah. Things feel like they're progressing with you, even if it's just energetically, or there's something that feels very progressive about your energy just overall, right? Your person feels like you're somebody that they can grow and change with. Like you're not going to hold them back or set them back or anything like that, or hold them down, okay? The Wheel of Fortune in the upright position, to me, always feels like mutable energy. It can shift and change, in any direction. That's just kind of how wheels go, right? And so I'm picking out like this, like the fact that they're saying that that's what they love about you. It's like you have this flexibility and this pliability, and you're very in the present moment, go with the flow, adapt, able to adapt to things. And it's, your person, I can see why that might be, because if your person is coming through in a very, scared, fixed, kind of fraidy cat kind of an energy, you're somebody that's like, okay, when to advance towards them, and when to just hang back and just hold space, right? Like your person feels that. Your person must be very, very sensitive, because they're picking up on this very, even because it's subtle. I'm picking up there's a subtleness here, but they've clocked it. They've noticed. Like you're not pushing them, not overtly, right? And at the same time, they know that it's not coming from a space of you being somebody that's a people pleaser, or, just you being codependent on their energy. They know it's not coming from that space. You're just somebody, you are who you are, right? Which is unlike anyone else they've ever really experienced up until this point. All right, pile one. That was your reading. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. I will see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, guys. Pile two, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We are doing another pick a card love reading, tapping into your person's true, honest thoughts and feelings towards you and the connection. Okay, so keep in mind, you guys, it's a general reading. So, whatever resonates, take it, run with it. If something doesn't resonate, drop it. Just leave it behind for the people that it does resonate for. I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap into you and your person's connection exclusively to get you, more customized answers. Check the description box. There's a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25. So go see which one, best fits your needs. All right, pile one or two, you guys were drawn to the Ancestralite. Which is good, working with, like ancestral stuff, or things having to deal with family, or, people that are your blood related to, or even soul tribe kind of stuff. I don't know. We'll see if that has anything to do with this connection, why you were drawn to that. So both of these, flew out in the reverse. Look at that. We got soulmate, but it's showing up in the reverse. Perfect match, but that is also showing up in the reverse. So, I just heard trouble in paradise. Let's find out. What happened here? Like, if these were in the upright position, I would have loved that reading. I would have loved to have done a reading like that. But no. All right, we'll find out. Pile two's person Your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 2, please. The number 9 could be significant, or the month of September. Let's get one more. Pile 2's person, your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 2. Your honest thoughts and feelings. Okay, let's take things to the next level. Your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 2, please. Whoa. Moving slow but making progress. We will be together again, okay? So yeah, y'all are in some phase or stage of separation. You know, if it's not an official breakup, it's just something where you guys haven't seen each other, you know, seen or spoken to each other for a time. Says you're everything I always wanted. What is going on with this energy that says your heart is safe with me? I only want you. Okay, so what is going on with this energy over here? Okay. Is that what it is? Is something on your person's side, and this feels karmic, okay? There feels like there's something that your person is needing to, some cycles that they're needing to end, but they feel karmic, possibly even related to like a past life. Yeah, there we go. It says these skeletons are staying in my closet at the back of the deck. What we have coming out on the board so far, we have, let's take things to the next level. Moving slow but making progress. It says we will be together again. You're everything I've always wanted. Your heart is safe. Your heart is safe with me, and I only want you. What is going on with this energy over here? Is it a timing thing? I mean, the energy coming, and this is your person's overall energy, though, towards you, but, or it's supposed to be, and what's coming through, especially with both of these in the reverse, is that, you know, you're not the one, or they're not the one. But look at their feelings towards you, though. You know, it could be something very karmic. Like, all of this could be true, but then your person could still be in this energy towards you, pile 2, where they're like, no, you know, pile 2 is not my soulmate, pile 2 is not the one, and right, they're in this energy over here, and it might be having something to do with whatever this energy over here of these skeletons are staying in the closet. I'm almost picking up on your person's like higher self or their higher essence or something, because in a very 3D way, this is how they feel. Like their 3D version of themselves actually feels this way, thinks this way, wants these things, you know, wants to take things to the next level with you, wants to progress things in this connection. And a lot of this also feels like when they're saying things like moving slow but making progress, that almost feels like on a spiritual level, on a soul level. I'll be honest, pile 2. And again, you know, if this doesn't resonate, you definitely don't have to claim it, but I have to honor some of the messages that are coming through, and this is definitely one. It's like, yes, you're going to be together again, but not in this lifetime. It's like for this lifetime, y'all are not meant to like, you know, experience your happily ever afters together. Okay, What's these skeletons are staying in my closet? What's that all about? Oh, they might be committed to somebody else with the King of Pentacles. Okay, their commitment is with someone else. Whether that's going on right now in the 3D or, you know what I mean? It really just feels, pile 2, like even though your person feels this way about you, right? This lifetime, it's like you and them, it's like you're not included in the path of this life for whatever reason, okay? It's almost like they were meant and ordained to be with someone else, even though a very large part of your person may actually wish they could have, you know, completed this life path with you. But, you know, put this however you want to see it. But what's coming through, you know, and I'm just putting this in the most general, broadest terms that I can. It's like, you know, you are the one that they would have wanted to end up with, but they weren't meant to. They were meant to end up with someone else. And that feels very karmic, okay? Very ordained, very soul contract kind of a thing. And that's another thing. It's like, yeah, maybe you guys were soulmates for a time, but it's like that time is over. That contract is up, at least for this lifetime, because we will be together again. But when I am hearing, we're talking about a grander scale, okay? And I'm not saying that you're not going to hear from this person like ever again or whatever the case may be. But this almost feels like, you know, a lifetime union happening, like maybe in the next life or something like that. Okay, again, if that doesn't resonate, you definitely don't have to run with it. But the fact of the matter, there we go. Yeah, we got the Four of Wands. It almost feels like this connection with your person is destined for union in some way, shape, or form. But for many of you, it may not be in this lifetime for whatever reason. Your person has other commitments, okay? Other very serious commitments that is a part of their soul evolution, okay? That's the overall energy. If you felt drawn to this pile, that's really what's going on, pile 2. You know, I hate to break it to you, but the two of you are not meant to be each other's happily ever after, at least in this lifetime. I do feel like in another lifetime after this, but your guys is something here about soul paths, right? Like your person is needing to grow and develop as a character, as a person, as, you know, an entity or whatever. And that, for whatever reason, that life path, they're not going to be able to do that with you in this lifetime. Okay? Yeah, that's the deal. Tell me about moving slow and making progress, or moving slow but making progress. The King of Cups. Yeah, you guys, a lot of this, it's not so much what they think. Yeah, I mean, this is how they think and what they feel about you, but I'm also picking up on a conversation between like you and their higher self, okay? Your person has a lot of work that needs to be done around, like, you know, the heart chakra and relationships and stuff like that. But for some reason, they're not going to learn. They're not supposed to learn those lessons with you. I don't know why, okay? It could be that your person is not inherently a safe space for you, pile 2, and that's what, you know, that's what you're wanting. Especially if you're wanting someone to get right or to be in a space of, you know, being more in thriving mode versus survival mode. That's just not where your person is at this point in time. Yes, they are moving slow in healing that dynamic, but I don't know. I just feel like the path that they're on versus the path that you are on, you know, because I'm picking up like this person's healing journey, whoever they end up with, or if they're with someone else right now, their healing journey, whomever they're going to end up with, whoever they're quote unquote their happily ever after in this lifetime ends up with, trust me, that other person's going to get dragged through the mud. And that person, just the timing, they're equipped for it, they're up for it. You know, you may not want to be dragged through the mud so that somebody else has a space to heal. You know, maybe you have already healed and you're ready to thrive with somebody. Your person's not ready to thrive yet. Okay, and as long as they are stuck in survival mode in the process of healing, other people are going to get dragged through the mud. And that doesn't feel like the path that you chose, okay, higher self-wise. Yeah, we got the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck, okay? That's some harsh, cut deep to the core energy. Your person, if they are, you know, with someone else, and that someone else is however way, shape, or form helping your person to clear out some of the things that is causing them to be in the King of Cups in reverse energy, it's not that other person, it's not Fun Street over there, okay? They're being drugged through the mud with your person, helping your person and guiding them through healing. Wow. Okay. Let's take things to the next level. Tell me about that, and then we're gonna end your guys' reading. Do I want to talk about we will be together again soon? Yeah, we'll do that too. I'll clarify both of those. I'm still wanting to dig more into that, what the skeletons are staying in the closet. Anyway, if this is resonating so far, you guys, if you're getting from the reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, hit that like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below, let me know that you picked this pile, let me know how it's resonating. Become part of the family by hitting that subscribe button, and don't forget about that notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Okay, tell me more about, let's take things to the next level. The Ten of Swords in the reverse. Oh, yeah. This feels like cycles closing out. Very painful cycles, okay? This is what they're wanting, though. They want to close out a very painful cycle with you and start something completely brand new with you. That's what they want, okay? And that would be very much next level. Oh, but again, this is coming out in such karmic universal like energy. This feels like, you know, them saying, you know, they want to start, like they're in the process of becoming a whole new different kind of an energy. They're shedding decades, I'm hearing, decades worth of, you know, programming, trauma, unprocessed grief and disappointment and stuff, and they're just in the process of becoming somebody brand new, okay? But when I say they're in the process, this feels like it's going to take years, all right? Again, I just don't feel like what the messages and the energy that's coming through pile 2, it doesn't feel like the two of you made that agreement, like, you know, before you incarnated here, that you said no to that soul contract, right? You're like, no, so somebody else is picking it up in terms of, like, you know, being the person that's drugged through the mud so that your person, like, as a way to help your person heal, okay? And when I'm saying like that person's going to be drugged through the mud, you know, there might be lying and cheating involved. There might be lies and manipulation. There might be a lot of very bad fights, okay, bad arguments. There's a lot of karma that's playing out for your person right now, and the person that they're with romantically, or the person that they end up with, okay, signed on to kind of help that person learn through, like, example, right? But I mean, man, tell me more about we will be together again. We have Aquarius energy coming through there, or that's Aquarius and Aries energy with the Fool. We will be together again. I'm hearing soon. So yeah, for some of you, you are going to have the opportunity, if you want to see this person again, right, in this lifetime. The Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Interesting. That might be because you guys have family, okay, together, kids together. So it's almost like, of course, you're going to see this person again, but there's also some unlearned lessons going on. There might be some things that you guys need to like wrap up with each other. Closure is coming through. Yeah, because we got the Hanged One, or the Hanged Man, Pisces energy, and then we have Temperance coming through with Sagittarius. Yeah, you guys are going to see each other again in this lifetime. If you, especially for those of you, pile 2, where you want closure with this person, or you still feel like, you know, there's a conversation that needs to be had that really is going to help put this connection to rest, okay? Healing for certain with Temperance. You know, if the two of you do get together, it is going to be very healing. You're going to feel recentered and grounded. You're going to get the answers that you need. But I will say the energy of walking away, you're going to gain a whole new perspective on things, okay? All right, last one. Tell me more, if there can be more to tell about these skeletons that are staying in the closet. Oh, they're very defensive about that. That feels like it has something to do with, you know, with that soul-to-soul contract. There's just some things about this connection, pile 2, you know, that you guys are just going to have to try to make peace with, try to, you know, maybe if there are some unanswered questions, you know, try to find peace with just not knowing. That's all part of shadow work, right? For those of you that have been with me for a while, you know all about my other channel where I teach all that stuff, how to, you know, dissolve triggers and move on and find happiness again. If not, just check the description box below. My other channel's listed there. It's called Pure Godfidence, okay? And I always reference 2 videos to get started. If you don't know how to do, you know, inner child healing, or, you know, work on healing abandonment wounds and attachment issues and just stuff like that. The first one is called How to Stop Manifesting Separation, and then the process by which to do that is in another video linked beneath that one called Releasing the Want. So check out those 2 videos, okay? Because advice isn't part of this reading, so you can disregard it if you want to, but there is advice coming through. This whole thing about we will be together again and what's coming up with skeletons are staying in the closet, there's just going to be some things that you're going to have to make peace with. There are going to be some things like, you know, you might have inkling about what happened between this person or what's going on with them, but even if you ask them, you know, there's just going to be some things your person is not going to confess to. They're not going to fess up to, okay? And there is something about maybe you're just kind of maybe a little bit overactive and wanting to get answers for certain things that maybe you just won't be able to get answers for. It's like, you know, that's why I shared that process with you. You can release that energy, release the, like, you know, the almost, it's like a lusting to know, right? And the way that you can make peace with not knowing and never finding out is through releasing that energy that has you attached and bound to needing to know or wanting to find out. Even if you have an over attachment maybe to just needing and wanting closure itself, you can release on that as well and release your attachment to that, and you can give yourself closure, okay? Pile 2, that was your reading. I hope that it resonated. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. I will see you guys at your next Pick a Card Live reading. Bye, guys. Hey, Pile 3, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another Pick a Card Love reading, tapping into your person's honest, true thoughts and feelings for you. It's a reading that I do about once a week. I try to anyway. Yeah, so just keep in mind it's a general reading, so whatever resonates with you, keep it, run with it. If something doesn't resonate, drop it and leave it behind for whomever it might be resonating for. I do have personal readings available if you would like for me to tap exclusively into the energy of you and your person's connection. Just check the description box below for all the booking details. I have a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25. So go check them out and see which one most fits your needs. All right, you guys. So pile 3, you were drawn to, what is that? The pink tourmaline in quartz. Pink tourmaline in quartz. Let's see your person's overall energy. We have past life relationship. You have known each other before. Ooh, and then we have alone. This is abandoned, loner, and closed off. I just heard a couple of things. Something about the second time around. Definitely there's an energy of you guys have been here before. You've done this before. So that could be literal. This can be somebody that you've already, you know, you've been with in this lifetime, and you know the two of you are not together anymore. You know, it could be like an on-off situation where, you know, you guys always seem to kind of cycle back to each other. But this could also be you know, legitimately it could be a past life relationship. You know, this person could feel very familiar to you and vice versa. Okay, let's find out what their overall thoughts and feelings, though, and we'll find out what's going on with the loaned. Why is, you know, because this is their energy towards you. Okay. For some of you, your person's coming through the energy like they're feeling abandoned by you, and that might be something that they're used to experiencing, you know, just in their life in general. That feeling of abandonment to your person feels very familiar. We'll find out what's going on here, though. Pile 3's person, your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 3. Pile 3's person, your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 3. We aren't right for each other. Okay, so it could also be, all right, yeah, it could also be this person is closing themselves off from you and from this connection. Possibly to go back to somebody from their past, possibly. That's not the biggest energy, but I will say your person is being highly influenced by a connection from their past. Specifically, it says, I'm not over my ex / the third party, okay? Let's see. Pile 3's person, your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 3. What's going on with this energy? Ooh. Well, which is it? I'm telling you the truth, but what is this? I'll leave it like that for now. We'll find out what's going on. Pile 3's person, your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 3, please. Again. Oh, your person they're wavering. They're in very wishy-washy energy. So they change their mind quite a bit, okay? Your person is very confused right now, and that's possibly lending to your confusion. Jeez, okay. Let me get one more. Healing from heartbreak. They're attempting, you know, they might be trying to, but they're avoidant attachment. Yes, okay. So, that's showing up at the bottom of the deck. That's what they're dealing with right now, you guys. Pile 3. A lot of their energy, yeah, I know this is supposed to be a reading about their thoughts and feelings about you and about this connection at this point in time, but I'm going to be honest, at least, so a little bit of a teaching moment for those of you that aren't familiar with attachment styles, okay? Okay, so you have avoidant attachment style and then you have anxious attachment style, right? Somebody with an anxious attachment style tends to be somebody that's more clingy, needing, and really that comes from a space of like needing validation or wanting validation, right? Somebody that's like, somebody with an anxious attachment style, they need to, almost like wanting to be joined at the hip, with whoever their romantic interest is. Not that that's a bad thing, right? It's why is someone with an anxious attachment style wanting to feel joined at the hip? Because there's nothing wrong with having that close and being two peas in a pod. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it's why. If it's because you're clinging on to somebody because the absence of that person scares you, in terms of like makes you feel like there's something missing within you, and without that person life holds no meaning, and blah blah, right? That's not coming from the quote unquote the right space. Okay, that's coming from a place of like maybe an abandonment wound, wanting to fill a void, causes all kinds of problems. And then you have the other spectrum, the other side of that spectrum, an avoidant who is always the runner, right? And so what's going on with avoidant attachment is when someone with an avoidant attachment style starts to feel like too close or get too close or too vulnerable, they shut off, they deactivate, okay? And depending on the intensity of that attachment style, sometimes a deactivation method can be like, if nothing exists to make your person want to deactivate, they'll make stuff up, okay? And so the reason why I kind of went through that little bit of a tangent there, wasn't really a tangent, circling back, is that and I actually think if you were to read books or articles on avoidant attachment, they actually do talk about people will use exes or past relationships as a way to deactivate from another love relationship, right? It's their way of holding you at an emotion, or holding love, I should say, or vulnerability or intimacy at arm's length, keeping someone from getting way too close. And I'm saying that to say this: if they're coming from a space of being activated in avoidance, even if they were with this ex, they would be doing the same thing to that ex. Okay, they would be idolizing you or, someone else, or, because it doesn't matter who it is. If your person has this thing where they need to keep people out from getting too close, from them being too vulnerable, they're going to do this to whomever they're with, okay? So I kind of feel your person in that back and forth, and people with avoidant attachment styles do that often. They're very flighty, very skittish, especially when they're activated in that avoidant attachment. And that's really where your person is at, okay? The fact that we have so many cards out here that are coming out in very unstable energies. There are times when your person wants to take things to the next level with you, and then there are times when they're like, no, I want to keep things casual. That's all stemming from, this avoidant attachment. And then we have, I'm stalling to avoid taking action. That also came out on its side. And then the other end of that says, I'm not avoiding you, I just need more time. Okay, so yes, I am picking up where you and your person, there's some kind of either you guys are not talking, you guys are separated, broken up, whatever the case may be, or your person just, they're not, like some of them may have ghosted, they may have just stopped replying, may have withdrawn they may, for many of you, they may have gone ghost. They go back and forth as to the reasons why they need that time and they need that space, okay? And, because we're psychic and we're intuitive and we can, like, you know, read the actual energy, I can tell you the reason why they're doing that is because of this avoidant attachment. Basically what it is like they'll get the inkling to, you know, reach out to you, maybe draw you in closer or make you more of a significant role or partner or person in their life, but they get triggered again, which makes them deactivate and withdraw, get lost in, like, you know, la la land or fantasy land or something, you know, daydreaming of the ex. But just again, you know, if they were with that ex, they'd be daydreaming about you. Okay, there's something here about maybe at least me reminding you not to make this personal about you. Okay, it really isn't. It's not the ex that has something over you. It's not that they prefer the ex or anything like that. You know, that's their way of deactivating and keeping you in this connection at arm's length mentally and emotionally. They would be doing the same thing to the ex if they were with that person. Okay, this is like a them thing, pile 3, not a you thing. Okay, that's just, you know, for whatever reason, that's just being highlighted to let you know that. What's going on with I'm telling the truth versus I'm lying to you? Oh, okay. What they're saying is that, yeah, it's back and forth. I'm feeling like it has a lot to do too with, there are times when they tell you what they know you need or want to hear to kind of get you what they're saying off their back about things. And then there are times when they tell you things and it's true, right? They mean what they say. So let's find out, what are you telling the truth about? What do you find the 9 of Wands in the reverse with Death in the reverse. You're telling the truth about them not wanting this between the two of you to be over. They're not done with you in this connection yet. This could also talk about giving up on, they've surrendered. Okay, that might be what that's about. Let's leave that there. Tell me more. What are you lying about to pile 3? What they're telling the truth about pile 3, it has something to do about them just finally coming to terms with the fact that, you know, something about the connection with you is never really going to be over. It's never ever really going to be done. Maybe your person was running away from that, trying to run away from that, hoping to run away from that. What's I'm lying to you? Tell me more about that. No, putting those back. Tell me more about I'm lying to you. What's lying about what? They knew what they were doing. They definitely knew what they were doing. The Ace of Pentacles is showing up here, and then with the Eight of Swords, they're both in the reverse with the Eight of Swords. They're both in the reverse. They might be lying to you about why. Something about it could be a business venture, could something else too, could be why, you know, things in this connection never really got off the ground, or a new start wasn't allowed or wasn't permitted, or your person kind of sabotaged that, like they did it knowingly, right? Something about them sabotaging like a whole brand new start with you. They knew what they were doing. Didn't that come through earlier? Yeah, they knew what they were doing. They were very aware. Well, they were well aware of what was at stake. So the example that's being given to me would be, you know, someone here, your person said something along the lines of, you know, if I knew that it was going to hurt you like that, or if I knew it was going to do that kind of damage to the connection, I never would have done that, or I would never have gone that route, or whatever. And what they're lying to you about is the fact that they were very well aware of what they were doing and the damage that it was going to cause, and they did it anyway, okay? They knew it was at stake, and they did it anyway. That's them backtracking. That's what that is, okay? So what this feels like is your person may have had like a grass is greener kind of a thing going on. And they could have been well aware, like, you know, if I go this route with this third party, pile 3 is it's gonna be over, right? Pile 3, you know, there's just something about, you know, what they chose to do, knowing that it was going to alter the course of things, knowing that it was going to change things. And what they're lying to you about is the fact that they thought things were going to turn out completely different. They thought whatever that route that they decided to go on, that was going to cause the connection between the two of you to change, you know, for the worse. They thought the new path that they were choosing was going to be worth it. You know, it's kind of a harsh thing to say, but that's the energy. That's what they're lying to you about. They willingly sacrificed you in this connection, only to find out later they made the wrong choice. Now they're trying to backtrack. Okay, that's what they're lying to you about. Tell me more about we aren't right for each other. Oh, that's too many. I don't want all those. I am seeing the 3 of Swords, though, on the floor in the upright position. It's too weak. Yeah, there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of heartache and heartbreak characterizing this connection. That's what they're referencing. It's not so much that it's like the two of you can't keep, or there's either a lot of pain between the two of you because of the experiences that you had, or there's also an energy coming through like either they can't stop hurting you or you can't stop hurting them, or it could be a mutual thing. That's why they're saying we're not right for each other. The Hierophant in the reverse. Like, that could be having to do with marriage, the Hierophant in the reverse, you know, the dissolution of marriage, or just not being right for marriage, or not seeing things being able to work long term because of a lot of pain that exists between you, or something like that. Let's find out what's going on with I'm not over my ex / the third party. 6 of Cups in the reverse. There's something karmic about that, yeah. Something very karmic about that. Again, very karmic, yeah, with the Ace of Wands, which in this case it feels like manifesting, creating patterns, toxic patterns from the past, your person's past, and that's kind of what's playing out between them and the third party right now, or their ex. And because your person hasn't learned the lesson of that, they keep returning in, even if it's in their mind and in their heart and emotions, you know, to that person. That's why it keeps happening, is because whatever lesson your person was supposed to learn with that third party, they're not learning, or they haven't learned. I hope that makes sense. Once your person were, you know, if they were to actually learn their lesson, that cycle, that karmic cycle with that ex or that third, they'd get over the third party, basically. All right, pile 3, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. I will see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, guys.